No. Right, hi guys. If you go into Moodle, you'll see the resources and everything for assignment 1. In there I've saved Meg assignment 1 checklist and Meg assignment 1 template. This is what I want you guys to specifically use in order to kind of make sure you cover all the criteria. The assignment is due in 2 weeks, which is the 5th of April. Okay, so you've got 2 weeks to hand that in. Just to kind of remind you, I've split the checklist into Meg's lessons and Ryan's lessons. So my lessons will cover P1, M1 and P2. Ryan's lessons cover P3, M2 and D1. Okay, so you've got this checklist where I specifically highlight what criteria you're going for, what you need to cover. So look at that to see what you're doing. I've also, just to make it even simple for you guys, done a template which I want you to follow. So this is task 1 of the assignment, this is task 2 of the assignment, as well as that. And this is task 3 of the assignment. Okay, so I'm going to go through that grading criteria, so those of you that are going for merit, pass, merits and distinctions know what it is you need to go to. Right, so if you look at the template, this is for Mike's group, so it's a slightly different date, but yours is the 5th of April, just to reiterate that. It's split into 3 tasks, so task 1, task 2 and task 3, and that's what my kind of template breaks down for you, so there's plenty of things there for you to use to help you. Task 1, you're looking at getting P1, describe the entrance fitness requirements and tests of 3 public services. Okay, so in order to get P1, you need to complete all 3 of these tables. So the first, emergency services, is up to you. Specify which emergency services you want to use. Fill in this table in order to answer that. Armed forces is pick one, we'll fill in the table again for that, and then the third UPS you can pick whichever one you want to do. So these 3 tables cover task 1, which will cover P1. Everybody needs to do that. Task 2, this one here, covers P2. So if we look at the checklist for that, P2 is outline fitness tests for main components of fitness and compare results. Okay, so everybody needs to do this part because this covers the pass criteria. So we've completed this already, done all these tests. You need to write your results in there. I think you typed this up with Sarah, so you should have that already somewhere. So it'll be a case of copying and pasting that over. The first thing you need to do is place the following components of fitness in the correct test. So for flexibility, drag and drop that one down next to the test that tests flexibility. So flexibility we know is sit and reach, so you put flexibility in there. Okay, muscular strength, move that down so I can clearly see that you've allocated a test to a component of fitness. So drag and drop those across, write your scores in for the test, then how is the test conducted, so a couple of sentences for how that test is run. So how does the hand grip work? So you'd say that you hold the hand grip test dial and you hold it down by the side of your thigh, you squeeze it as tight as you can, and then you look at the scores, and that's then recorded. What UPS uses it, so you might find that they don't specifically use that test, but just put a paragraph in there and just say why hand grip would be important anyway in that UPS if it's not a specific test. So you fill that table in. That then covers P2. Okay, this table here is looking at merit. So those of you that want to get merit criteria need to complete that. If you're not going for merit, then don't worry. For the merit on here, so explain the strengths and areas for improvement of the fitness tests. So you're looking at what's in blue here for M1. So if you follow the template, that's going to help you there. So strengths against entry requirements. So here you're looking at your scores and you're comparing them to the results and what the results are for your public services. So select one public service to discuss, so write that in there. So whether you're looking at the police or the army, marines, whatever. From the results, from all 7, you need to put them into strengths and weaknesses. So there's 7 boxes here. I've done 4 weaknesses, 3 strengths. You might find that you have 4 strengths and 3 weaknesses, or a different number, but you need to have a balance of strengths and weaknesses. So your top scores put in here, your lower scores kind of put in that bracket. So you need to put components and tests. So maybe you've got let's put flexibility and sit and reach. So you can clearly see what the component and test is. Why is it important for UPS? So maybe if we want to talk about the army, so why is flexibility important within the army? We can say about the fact that it will reduce injuries. The more kind of flexible you are and pliable your body is, it's going to help with your kind of posture and things like that. It's important to have flexibility to kind of reach and grab stuff and pull yourself up, and different areas of where you think it's important in there, linked to specific job roles within the army. Okay, so that's where you're going to get that merit criteria. So fill in every single box of this table with sentences, not bullet points, because it's merit criteria, and the components and tests of this box will just have a few words in it, because you're just literally highlighting the test and the component, but these need to have structured paragraphs. Okay, so don't worry about how big the table becomes, because that on its own is the merit criteria. And that's everything you've done with me. Okay, the next part, the task 3 of the template, is what you've been doing with Ryan. So what you need to do here, and this covers pass, merit and distinction. So if we go back to the checklist for Ryan's lesson, we're describing one method of fitness training for the main components of physical fitness for the pass. We explain them for merit and evaluate them for distinction. So there's some things there on the checklist to help you, but I've literally translated that onto this table. So components of fitness, get all 6 of your components of fitness in there that you've done with Ryan. Training methods used, so between 50 to 100 words. So those of you going for a pass only need to do these 2. Okay, so this bit covers the pass criteria. You can put some information into these as well, just to make sure you definitely hit that pass, but generally these are the only 2 things that you need. And also pass, you're looking at being kind of 50 words, whereas if you want to go for merit, then you need to be looking at enhancing your explanation and going into more kind of 100 words this for each one. This also covers the merit. So explain how it works, so specifically look into that training method and how it helps with that component of fitness. So try and get some kind of scientific evidence to support your kind of views and theories there, an example of how it might be completed, and again try and link that to your public service as well in that description. This table here is for distinction. So training methods, so you can just kind of copy and paste this bit down. What's the advantages of it? So again, we're looking at between 50 and 100 words, so try and talk about kind of at least 2 advantages of each training method and some disadvantages. So that could be for the job, that could be for the individual, it could be kind of a general disadvantage of that training method, so maybe it's quite fatiguing, anything you can think of. And then here an alternative training method that's still going to be using that component of fitness, and why you've suggested that. So that will cover the distinction criteria. Okay, so just to reiterate, task 1 is for P1, everybody needs to do that. Task 2 here is for P2, that needs to be completed by everybody. This table here is for M1, so for those of you going for the merit. This part of task 3 here is for pass, and the pink is for merit for task 3, and this bottom table is for distinction, and that is due on the 5th, Wednesday the 5th of April.